22-year-old Miranda stood at her grandmother's funeral watching her family mourn. But she wasn't crying for her grandmother. She was mourning the will reading that would come next, where she knew exactly what would happen. And she was right. Her uncle announced that everything, the entire $50 million estate, went to her cousin Brandon. Miranda got nothing. Not because her grandmother didn't love her, but because her mother had convinced the dying woman that Miranda was ungrateful, money-hungry, a disappointment. For 3 years, Miranda had been her grandmother's caregiver, feeding her, bathing her, reading to her every night. Her mother and uncle, they visited twice a year. Brandon never. But somehow, through poisoned words and manufactured evidence, fake text messages, edited voice recordings, they'd convinced her grandmother to write Miranda out completely. At the lawyer's office, her mother smiled sweetly. "Darling, maybe if you'd been more devoted, you would have been included." Her uncle laughed. "Consider it a life lesson about family loyalty." Miranda didn't argue. She simply hired the best investigator money could borrow. Within months, she had everything. Bank statements showing her mother had been stealing from her grandmother for years. Medical records proving her uncle had been over-sedating the elderly woman to keep her confused. Video evidence of Brandon coaching their grandmother to change her will while she was medicated. The fraud was so extensive it made the local news. The lawsuit was swift, the criminal charges even swifter. Her mother and uncle faced jail time for elder abuse and fraud. Brandon lost his inheritance and his reputation. The estate was voided and redistributed according to the original will from 5 years earlier, the one that left 70% to Miranda. At the final hearing, her mother tried to apologize. Miranda looked at her and said, "You taught me that family means nothing when greed is involved. Thank you for that lesson." She walked away from them forever, using her inheritance to open a care facility for elderly abuse victims, naming it after her grandmother. Justice isn't always loud. Sometimes it's just the quiet click of a courtroom door closing on people who thought they'd won. Think you've heard it all. Subscribe for more stories where the silenced find their voice and the forgotten become unforgettable.